Here we go. Who's heard of the Hawthorne experiment? Not many people have, so if you haven't, don't worry. But the Hawthorne experiment was named after a General Electric of the United States plant in Hawthorne, naturally enough, Illinois. And this experiment was done in 1924, so getting on for 100 years ago. General Electric was a large industrial conglomerate even in those days, and they made in this huge factory telephone exchange relays, as well as a whole host of other stuff. Now, the old telephone relay assemblies were very complex electromechanical assemblies, and as they were switching telephones all the time, that's what they did, they had to be ultra reliable, so very careful assembly was required. But at the same time, there was a huge market in the United States, so it was important that they made them as cheaply as possible. One of GE's other products at those days was lamps, and being fairly early in the electric light technology, they just invented a new brighter lamp. And the GE marketing people thought it would be a great idea to show that this brighter lamp made your factory more productive. So they hit on the idea of putting these brighter lamps in the relay assembly department and seeing if productivity went up. So they did the experiment. And guess what? Yes, productivity did go up. Marketing people are cock-a-hoop. They want to rush out and start the advertising saying buy our brighter lamps, it will raise your productivity. Now, the production engineers in the plant are a bit more sceptical, because production engineers are sceptical. I used to be one in my transition, and they said, well, hang on, let's be scientific, let's put the old dimmer lamps back in and make sure that productivity goes back down again. So okay, the marketing department are happy to wait another couple of weeks, so they put the old bulbs back in, and in a couple of weeks' time measured productivity, and guess what? Productivity went up again, up. Now, the production engineers are a bit shocked, because frankly they wanted to find out the secret of the raised productivity and apply it across the rest of the factory. The marketing people are, well, discouraged, to put it mildly. There go all their bonuses. So the production engineers start researching to find out, well, if it wasn't the lamps, what were the other variables that were making productivity go up? And they spend 3 years experimenting with everything they can think of to try to find the one variable that made the difference. And after 3 years they gave up. Whatever they did raised productivity slightly. Even more surprisingly, the adjacent departments around the relay assembly department, the productivity in those went up slightly too. This is a real puzzle. Not one to be stuck for an answer, they call in Elton Mayo and his team of industrial psychologists from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Now, these academics spend 6 years researching all the variables again to try and find out what the cause was. And in the end of 6 years research, there is only one factor that makes the difference. And that is the management coming down to the relay assembly department, talking to people and finding out for themselves what on earth is going on. An astonishing result, you must admit, and that result has been denied, denigrated and just plain ignored, which is why the chances are you haven't heard of it. Say 90% of people haven't heard of it. But what does that mean? It means if you want to raise productivity, you've got to treat someone as a human being. And I'll give you an example now.